Howdy, folks. Clayton Charles here, Senior Merchandiser, FS Grain, bringing your March 21st, 2023 FS Grain market comment. We've seen kind of a mixed bag of tricks today as we've seen the some daily export sales go on over the flashes the last couple of days, and we've seen the board react to that in a positive way, not like we used to see on big green days as we've turned negative going to the balance of the day after those have come out. The realistic demand structure is kind of what everyone's playing their hat on. And also you got your report on the 31st for planning projections and quarterly stocks. So we're kind of positioning over the next 10 days going into the balance of March for that report. So you'll kind of see some spikes every once in a while, 3, 4, 5 cents kind of each way as we dig into a channel over the next 10 to see what that stocks come out and planning projections. You got the trade expecting about 91 million acres of corn being planted, wheat at 49.5 million, and soybean acres at 87.5 million going into 23-24's crop. You've got some private analysts saying we could be 91.5, 92 million. So it'll be interesting to see what that takes away from in terms of the fringe acres. But we know, kind of the South and Mid-South that, cotton is probably going to go to corn acres. We're going to have some, peanuts are going to maintain their acres. So it'll be interesting to see what does come out in terms of planning projections, not only for the group of Midwest states, but also kind of the South, Mid-South, and then up in the Dakotas, where really those acres can play into what we see being planted. We're seeing the Chinese economy improving so slightly over last year that come out. So that's positive as we saw today. Chinese corn, there was rumors about China switching from Brazilian origin to U.S. origin for some beans here in the interim. So that's had a little positive impact on the market over the last kind of 24 hours. Forecasts seem to be cool and wet as we go into planting, so that will kind of dictate acres as well. Not for kind of the March 31st report, but as we go into planting season in April. And you can definitely tell there are acres that seem to be drier than other regions. We're getting some more wet weather over the next few days. And so that will kind of dictate where guys are in the next 2 or 3 weeks, trying to get maybe early stuff in for some of those late season premiums that we typically see year over year at the processor. Exports have been very lackluster. You can imagine with the USD strength and the dollar that it is playing. You've got countries overseas that it's hard for them to get the US dollar. Credit is tapped. The US dollar is high. So they just haven't been into the market to come buy corn or beans realistically over the past kind of few months. So we'll see how that brings into the balance of the marketing year, as we are roughly about halfway through the marketing year. So that will be a detection of what goes forward for 2023. That is kind of the big picture, is the demand structure and how we are parlayed into South America versus U.S. exports. And as we see going into even not just this year, but 23, 24, we'll really have some kind of way to figure out how we're going to not necessarily have South America take over U.S. exports, but we will need them in terms of if demand stays and becomes big for the protein complex, we will definitely need South America and a big harvest both here in the U.S. and O&D, or we need another round of South America big bean business in order for us to maintain these levels, I think, going forward as we sit, 13, 14, 15 bucks on beans and $5, $6, $7 corn. If there's any questions, drop your comments, let us know, call your local originator. We'd love to help you out. And last of all, happy Agricultural Day 2023. And thank you for everyone and your support.